It's Friday, February 9th, 2018. It's that time of the hour to end all things. Welcome to the season finale of the Blitz Zone. My name's Eric Rosen, and I'm coming to you live from the studios of CTV in Staten Island, New York. Tonight, as I mentioned, we end our season. 23 glorious weeks of discussing football. And the season officially came to an end this past Sunday. Congratulations to the first time ever Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, who overcame the New England Patriots at Super Bowl 52 to the score 41-33. The city of brotherly love now has a Lombardi trophy to add to its other prestigious titles in their entire history. I could not be happier for this city to finally win this trophy in 3 opportunities. They couldn't do it in Super Bowl 15 against the Raiders. They couldn't do it against the Patriots the first time around, Super Bowl 39, but they did it this past weekend. Congratulations. Hold on one moment. Just closing the door. All right. Now, we have a lot to discuss in these remaining 58 minutes of the season, and so little time. For the last time, let's get to the news of the past week, starting with let's start with, not the Super Bowl, but Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G, the guy who came on board to the San Francisco 49ers via the October 31st Halloween Day trade from the New England Patriots. And all the Patriots got in return for Jimmy G or Garoppolo was a second-round draft pick for this coming draft in April. Yeah, for the 2018 draft. Amazing, right? And what does Jimmy Garoppolo do in all 5 of his December starts? He wins. He wins with pinpoint accuracy, great pocket awareness, dead on accurate, dead on plays, good release, everything you want in a quarterback, and he can run. In today's NFL, that's huge to have a dual threat QB. Now, for his services he provided for the 49ers in the final month of the season, he got rewarded with a 5-year, $137.5 million contract, which, if you average it out, is $27.5 million a year, making him the highest average per year quarterback in NFL history. For now, until we see what Kirk Cousins gets in free agency or Aaron Rodgers when the Packers work out his deal and every other future QB. But right now, $27.5 million is the highest quarterback can earn per year. He did it. And in all 7 of his career starts, he has not lost a single one. That's right, 5 he did with the 49ers, and then the previous 2 with the Patriots. That's pretty good to be undefeated so far in his young career. And yet, he's been in the league the last 4 years. Now, he's finally he's going to get a full season as a starter, which he's never had in his career. Really, he's never had a full season as an NFL starter. Well, you have to account for the fact that he was with Brady in New England, so you knew he was going to be the understudy for some time until eventually Brady was going to give up his crown, right? Brady is like the Lannisters. He'll never give it up. He'll fight for that top spot and for the Iron Throne of New England until somebody takes it from him. No, I don't know if you can use a Game of Thrones scenario to describe Tom Brady and his being the QB of the Patriots, but there was no way that Tom Brady was going to give up his crown and to Garoppolo. And Patriots realized that. That's why the 49ers and the Patriots made that deal. Really, some people are calling it the theft of the century. All you had to do is they had to give up just a second-round draft pick to get Garoppolo. Yeah, the Patriots definitely got I think a little. Didn't get as much as they could have for Garoppolo. They could have maximized more than just second-round pick, maybe a first-rounder. My God, with the way that Garoppolo's been playing, whew, man, the 49ers had to give up very little in the end. But, hey, it's all good. Now, as for this deal itself, next year is going to be something, especially where the 49ers, where they go with this current offseason. They have the money. Well, they had $130 million, the most cap space, going into this offseason. So they were able to spend big on Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, what other area are they going to spend on to really provide help? Are they going to re-sign Carlos Hyde because he's a free agent right now? Will they re-sign him with the team? Are they going to spend on receivers out there in free agency? Or maybe do they go for Le'Veon Bell? Considering the Steelers have not made a formal offer yet to him, and Le'Veon did threaten to quit or retire if the Steelers were going to give him a $14.5 million franchise tag for 2018. The 49ers have the money. That would be huge to get a weapon, a young weapon still in his prime who can also catch out of the backfield. That could be a major game changer for the 49ers in the NFC West. Just saying, but would he fit what Kyle Shanahan's system? I think he could. I think it would be a great fit for him. So don't be shocked, folks, if you hear Le'Veon Bell to San Francisco rumors coming up in the next few months, and some other things going on. But this is a good start for the 49ers in their quest to regain the kingdom of the NFC West. See, went back to a little Game of Thrones right there. Love that show. It's one of my favorite. Can't wait till it's back next year. Why? Why make us wait till 2019? I want to know what happens, especially Beyond the Wall. Actually, not Beyond the Wall. What happened to the wall? Anyway, I'm going to spend the entire night going Game of Thrones on you guys. Now, some of the other things that took place this past week. The general manager for the Detroit Lions, Bob Quinn, who started his career working in the front offices for the Patriots, now, this few years ago was hired to be the GM for the Lions, has gotten a nice contract extension. And you can see why. Yes, they've only been to a few playoffs, but they still got to the playoffs in his tenure. And they got a nice, he worked out a nice deal to keep Stafford in town and reward him well for the 8 overtime or fourth quarter victories he had back in 2016. So I think this is really a smart move on Detroit's part, and landing one of the best marketable coaches, a good defensive-minded coach, and Matt Patricia. And you know what? Speaking of which, Matt Patricia, of course, was rumored to be the new head coach of the Lions, but because his team was in the playoffs, he couldn't technically sign with the Lions until the playoffs are over. Now that Patriots season ended with a loss in Super Bowl 52, Patricia was able to formally sign a new 5-year deal to be the head coach, the 27th head coach in the history of the Lions franchise. A team that went 9-7 last year, will he turn them around and get them to the playoffs? Especially with Matthew Stafford and a great core of receivers to work with. The only problem they have offensively is their running back. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher in quite some time. That's where they need to focus a lot, and they need to improve that defensive front line and build around Ezekiel Ansah for sure. They have a good secondary in place, and I would not be surprised if the Lions try to get Malcolm Butler after him being benched by Belichick and the Patriots during the playoffs and how salty he felt. There were rumors that he got high and smoked some pot and also was possibly drunk. There were rumors that he missed curfew, that he was also in the hospital and during the Super Bowl week, yet he wasn't listed on the injury report for the Patriots. And you could even see during Super Bowl 52 when the national anthem was sung by Pink, he was visibly crying. And all of us would have thought he was just crying because, it's an emotional song for a lot of, for Americans that, for anybody for any patriot of any country, listening to your national anthem does evoke those type of emotions. That's what all of us had that mindset of. We didn't realize that Malcolm Butler was crying for the fact that he wasn't starting in Super Bowl 52. The guy who was the hero of Super Bowl 49 for the Patriots and got the game-ending interception over the Seahawks. Well, this could be the fact that he's a restricted free agent and he wasn't played in Super Bowl 52 unless it was special teams, and the fact that he said that the Patriots dropped the ball on me, they gave up on me. Well, maybe Detroit will be his new home because Matt Patricia is the head coach there, and he knows Patricia's system inside and out. And imagine him with Darius Slay and Glover Quinn in that secondary. There could be some rumors there. Just saying, it's a possibility for that to happen. But as for Matt Patricia, this was a guy who, for years was, a native in New York. In fact, Sherrill, New York, upstate right here. Was an offensive lineman at Rensselaer from 92 to 95 at Polytechnic, where he got a degree in aeronautical engineering. Worked for an engineering firm at RPI as a graduate assistant. Then he went to be an engineer at Hoffman Air and Filtration Systems in East Syracuse, New York. 2 years before he went back to coaching. Then he was the defensive line coach at Amherst University from 99-2000. Then he was a graduate assistant at Syracuse back in 2001-2003. Then he was hired by the Patriots in the 04 season as an offensive line coach. Then he moved to the defensive coordinator position in 2012, where his team has had a great record of 75-21 since, and allowing 107.1 rushing yards. That's pretty good. That's 10th overall in that 12th overall in that time span. 246.7 passing yards per game, 25th in the league, and 19.2 points, second to the Seattle Seahawks in that time span. He could really improve that Lions defense overall. Good luck to you, sir. And I'm very happy for you. As for the Indianapolis Colts, that's a different story right here. It was originally announced that Josh McDaniels, the counterpart to Patricia on the Patriots as the offensive coordinator, was going to be coaching in the Midwest with the Indianapolis Colts, as we all thought. It was announced actually this past Tuesday. Then 24 hours later on Wednesday, he decides to make a 180 and tell the team that he won't be accepting the job and that he will stay on board as the offensive coordinator with the Patriots. Belichick, of course, and the Patriots organization are happy. I can't say so much for Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard and the entire Colts organization. They may have not vocally voiced their anger, but at the same time, they had to have been a little ticked off that the guy said, yeah, even though there was no formal contract signed. But when you give your word that, oh, yeah, I'm going to be with you guys, and then turn around and pull that 180, that's just incredibly messed up right there. Because this team had their eyes actually on some other people. And yet they went full throttle on Josh McDaniels. They were looking at Steve Wilkes. Well, they can't because he signed with the Cardinals. They were looking at Matt Nagy. He's with the Chicago Bears. They were thinking, some other coaches too. They were thinking of Mike Vrabel, and yet he's with the Tennessee Titans. Those three were on their list, and they didn't go for them or interviewed one of them and didn't really put their full attention as much on them as they did on Josh McDaniels. And for McDaniels to pull this maneuver off, if he ever wants a head coaching job in the future, the other 31 general managers, including the Colts, will be very leery of ever considering him for a job that he pulled this move. Some people are thinking this has something to do with Belichick. He's getting up there in age. Who knows how long he's going to be the head coach. But the thing is about Belichick, like Brady, they both are bionic robots. I think they can do this for as many years as they want to. Yeah. You will not knock the Kings off their respective thrones in the Patriots organization. So that can't be the case. They had to have thrown some very good money McDaniels' way. But it was also his family that he took into consideration, making that move from New England to from Foxborough to Indianapolis. I think his family definitely played a big part in that decision too, and you can understand that. There's a part of me that understands that too. You don't want to uproot your kids from what they know now, the schools that they're in, and then have them move all of a sudden to a new city, new school. That really can throw his children off like that. That I can understand too. But then but as a professional, as a man, when you say you're going to do something, then you pull something else off. You do something completely contradictory. Who knows how valuable your word is anymore, especially if he ever wants to be a head coach again. These GMs are going to be leery and point to this decision right there. So there's a double-edged sword to this whole situation. As for the Colts now, in the head coaching search, I don't know where they're going to go with this. Who they're going to try and tap as their head coach. I was thinking Matt LaFleur, but right now that's not the case. Because he took the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator position. That's where he's going to be. And as for John DeFilippo, he is now the new offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He was the quarterbacks coach for the Eagles. And the work that he did with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles this past season, he was a coaching candidate for some teams. In fact, the New York Jets were looking to him to be the new offensive coordinator. The Jets haven't even announced a new OC yet. That's crazy to think about that. But as for the Indianapolis Colts, the search continues. They're looking before the end of this month, before the Combine, which ironically takes place in Indianapolis, for them to find their new coach. As for Darrelle Revis, he was just recently released by the Kansas City Chiefs. At the NFL Honors ceremony this past week, that took place, the annual awards show that takes place the night before Super Bowl Sunday. The winners, Alvin Kamara was the Rookie of the Year, as well as with a Pepsi and AP Offensive Rookie of the Year for when he came on for the Saints, and his work in the backfield, combining with Mark Ingram in the backfield and on the run. The Air and Ground Players of the Year by FedEx, Carson Wentz, of course, having one of the best seasons of his career up until that Week 14 ACL tear in LA, which hopefully he'll be ready to go for 2018. And that's another thing with the Eagles, with the win that they had. Will he be the quarterback? Or because even though some people are saying yes, but you look at what Foles did, there could be a bit of a controversy. I'm thinking, but some people are thinking, no, you're nuts, Eric, to think that. There's no controversy. Wentz is the QB. Foles was just the backup. He will be let go at some point, and other teams will grab him. If that's the case, you see this team right here? The New York Jets? Hey, Nick, talking to you, buddy. Come play for our team. We could use your help in the worst way because we do not want to spend a dime on Kirk Cousins. He's going to cost us $28 million a year. Jets will probably cut some payroll, but no way. Well, getting back to the awards show that took place that night, Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year. The MVP, of course, was Tom Brady, led the league with over 4,600 passing yards. The Comeback Player of the Year was Keenan Allen, who had three 200-yard performances receiving wise on the season. That's great right there. And then, of course, Pat Shurmur was the Assistant Coach of the Year, offensive coordinator for the Vikings at the time. Well, early in the season. Now, he's going to be the head coach for the New York Giants, a team that could be on the rise, depending on what they do with that number 2 pick. Most people are saying quarterback with Josh Rosen. It's on most draft boards. Could be Sam Darnold. Or if they want to get a running back, go for Saquon Barkley. That would be really a game changer. That would be the first pure hard-hitting running back they've had since Brandon Jacobs. And they need to improve that line. As for J.J. Watt, he became the latest Walter Payton Man of the Year award for raising an estimated $37 million to help the people of Houston during that horrific Hurricane Harvey situation, and to go for food, clothes, for helping rebuild homes, all the things that the money is going to that was intended just to be $250,000, and the fact that it grew to that kind of money, and he's now diverting all the money to different organizations too. He's truly he's a man's man to me. It sucks what happened to him week 5, that injury, that back injury. He's had 2 years in which he's had season-ending injuries. Let's hope that 2018 will be a different story for him. And congratulations to all the winners, and congratulations to the newest members of the Hall of Fame class, starting with Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher, 2 first-year eligible players who redefined, respectively, in the AFC and the NFC, what the middle linebacker position was. Ferocious, tough-minded, in-your-face, middle linebackers. Both these players leading their teams to Super Bowl appearances. Only one of them won 2 Super Bowls. That was Ray Lewis in his first Super Bowl 35, in which they destroyed the Giants 34-7. He was the MVP that year. He stayed with the team when they were in their inaugural 97 season. And what's amazing about him, and you just look at his intensity. He was the AP Defensive Player of the Year twice, won the Super Bowl, great against the run and the pass, and one of the best, like I said, one of the best linebackers. And then Brian Urlacher was the great person who came up with the Tampa 2 style defense. Randy Moss, one of the most elite wide receivers in NFL history right here, led the league with touchdowns, 17 touchdowns as a rookie in a season, averaging 1,395 yards and 13 touchdowns in his first 6 years alone. And in 2007, with the nearly undefeated 19-0 Patriots, had 23 touchdowns that 1 year. Of course, they ended up losing Super Bowl 42 to the Giants, 17-14. But nonetheless, you can't take away from Randy Moss' career. And now you see him every Sunday with ESPN in the morning. And Terrell Owens, you may have not liked his braggadocio attitude or his pompous way of doing things or his one-man show, but you can't deny his ability to catch the football. Over 15,000 career yards, one of the second in NFL history. And you think about it too, it's mind-boggling what he did for 3 different teams with the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Eagles, and especially helping the Eagles get to Super Bowl 39 that year. Speaking of the Eagles, Brian Dawkins, one of the greatest hard-hitting safeties in NFL history, who had 37 career interceptions, 26 sacks, 36 career forced fumbles, basically the enforcer of safeties, was inducted into the Hall of Fame. 2 senior members were inducted this year. Jerry Kramer from the Green Bay Packers, part of those 5 championships and 2 Super Bowl victories, and the all-decade team of the 1960s, and Oilers linebacker Robert Brazil, probably the Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1975 as a 6th overall pick. 5 straight seasons, a first-team All-Pro from 76 to 1980, and a member of the 70s All-Decade team, one of the most dominant 3-4 outside linebackers. And the contributing sector of the Hall of Fame, Bobby Beathard, who is known for 4 works of incredible front office work, 4 decades with the Chiefs, Falcons, Dolphins, Redskins, and Chargers, and especially with the Redskins, led to 2 Super Bowl victories. Super Bowl 2017, that had 27 free agents. And, it was just unbelievable. And went to 7 Super Bowls with his teams, winning 4 of them. You can't get better. This is one of the great classes. I can't wait till August, in 6 months, when these individuals are inducted into this sacred hall, the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. I hope Kevin Waddell next year will get inducted. I really hope Don Coryell gets his just due next year. And sometime down the line, we'll see Peyton Manning, first ballot. He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And when the day comes that Tom Brady decides to retire, that will be a sad day for football. Whether you like him or hate him, you can't deny the guy's ability to play the game, and it will be a sad day not to see number 12 on the football field with the Patriots. And when that day happens, and 5 years from that day will be when he gets inducted first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I put it off for some time. Let's recap the game. That was Super Bowl 52, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sold out crowd. The cheapest seats you could probably find were $4,000 on StubHub. One of the most expensive was $11,000. That's insanity right there. $7.7 million for a 30-second spot. That's $2.2 million higher than Super Bowl 51. And you had some funny commercials. You have to like the Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. commercial where they reenacted the Dirty Dancing dance scene with the late, great Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. And they did the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. That was okay. I tried to do that, but definitely one of the best commercials of the evening. And the Danny DeVito, do you want to eat me? Do you want to eat me? How about you? Do you want to eat me? And he gets knocked over by a bus into that fruit station. That was funny as hell to me. There are some ones that were complete duds and some great trailers. The new Han Solo film that's coming out. I loved the Avengers Infinity War, the Mission Impossible. All these trailers and the new Jurassic World, they were just fantastic. Well, anyway, we saw, of course, America the Beautiful. That was sung by Larry Odom Jr., who was a part of the Tony-winning cast of Hamilton. Then the national anthem sung by Pink, who was actually under the weather going to the Super Bowl, but still wanted to perform for this game, and she did it beautifully. Probably one of my favorite besides Whitney Houston's great rendition. Then the coin toss. The New England Patriots actually won the toss, decided to defer to the second half. Here we go. Eagles get the ball to begin with. And the play that really started to me was the 17-yard pass on 3rd and 4 from the Eagles' 32-yard line to Alshon Jeffrey. Then 2nd and 4, the Eagles' 21, the 16-yard screen pass to Corey Clement. Then 1st and goal at the 5, the 3-yard pass. Then the stupid false start by number 86, Zach Ertz. So they had to go to the New England 7. Incomplete on 2 consecutive passes. They had to settle for a 25-yard field goal, so it's 3-0. Patriots get the ball on the kickoff. And Cooks, then it's a 15-yard pass to White. Then the Eagles commit another stupid penalty. Too many men on the field. And Brady snapped the ball pretty quickly because he's good at seeing that stuff. Then eventually, later on the drive, 3rd and 4 at the Philly 8, an incomplete to Gronkowski, and then a 26-yard field goal by Gostkowski. On that 3rd and 4 right there, on the crossing slant pattern, that could have been easily intercepted. Luckily, that didn't happen to Brady, so it's 3-all. This held for a field goal. On the ensuing drive for the Philadelphia Eagles, the 36-yard run by LeGarrette Blount with great blocking. Then the 34-yard pass. Play action. It's 1st and 10. New England at the New England 34. Ball gets snapped to Foles. Play action fake. Throws it down the left sideline. One-on-one coverage on the inside fade. Boom. Caught. Control. Feet in bounds. Jeffrey gets the touchdown. It's 9-3. Then Jake Elliott, the rookie, goes for the field goal. Shanks it to the right side. No go. It's 9-3. Patriots come back up, and all of a sudden, with one of the big plays was the 50-yard pass to Danny Amendola on 3rd and 7 from their own 25. A few plays later on the drive, they're at 3rd and 2 at their own 9, and nothing by White. So he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. They have to go for a field goal. Here's the unfortunate part on the attempted field goal. The ball gets snapped. It's a 25-yard attempt. The ball gets snapped. Great, but the hold is bad by Allen. All of a sudden,